Hello, hello. I believe that we are live. Good evening. So, here's the idea. I'll repeat this later, but when people are joining. For the end of our demo, we have a section where, oh, you can already see it here. Some more intense stuff will be happening. So we have, wait, let me show it real quick. I'm not sure what's happening with the video window. So we have a little cutscene, and then boom, explosion, and you're getting chased by a boulder. This is all very much work in progress still, but I'm already getting started on the music for this today. Yeah, and then there's this little boulder section that I won't spoil too much. Oh, in here, yeah, I just died. So, to start off, I have been having a couple of ideas already that I would like to start working on. And one of those is, wait, let me check if everything is, yeah. One of those is greetings from the Netherlands. Goedenavond and welcome. So one of the ideas I've been having is I've been talking about this rhythmic displacement idea of having rhythms that are not necessarily at the same time, but one of them is slightly altered compared to the other. And I want to do something similar here. This was an idea I got when I woke up this morning, and I have already tried to lay it out a little bit. So in Cubase, you can only have one signature track, but I need a second for this because the idea is to have one layer of rhythms going in a regular 5/4 bar, and then underneath have one that starts at 5/4 as well, but at some point becomes displaced by one beat. So I have this percussion loop from Damage here. That's actually really nicely gets some accents going that I wanted. So the idea is the background. I'm not sure if you can hear the click though. I was testing that later, just so let me know if you hear the click, yes or no. So this is one idea in terms of rhythm where it's a 5/4 bar, then a 4/4 bar, another 4/4 bar, and a 5/4 bar. And that's kind of the like a 4-bar structure. While on top of that, there's a 5/4 bar going all the way. So at the end of this little cycle here, the next 5/4 bar will start here, which is 2 beats displaced compared to the regular one that keeps going. So this, in every cycle, it displaces by 2 beats. What kind of plugin do you use for these drums? This is Damage 2, and I have this loop loaded that I'm just gonna start out with, and I'll maybe replace it later, maybe I'll keep it, maybe it will be one of the layers, but I'm heavily chopping it up. Then the second idea for how I can go about these cycles is instead of like removing one beat every other bar, or here it's like it's a 5/4, then I remove one beat, remove another, and then it's 5/4. Here, in every cycle of 4 bars, I'm putting one 4/4 bar in between. So every round of 4 bars, it gets displaced by one beat forward. Hello, David. Hello, MVP. Welcome. So this is the other one. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And on top of this, the regular 5/4 bar will continue. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So here you heard that my counting is off compared to the percussion rhythm. So I want to try it and see if this works, where one layer will have the displaced meters, and it won't be only percussion. There will also probably be some other elements that will follow this like signature 2 track, and one of them will follow regular signature 1, which is a regular 5/4 bar. So that's one thing I've decided. There's another thing I've decided before we get into this, and that is that for this chapter, where's my pedal? For this chapter, I'm using a lot of this key. That's a lot of what's happening earlier in the chapter. And I kind of want to not use the same, but sort of develop on that. So I want to use the octatonic scale, which starts, you can see these, right? Yeah. So from A, B flat. So it's half step, whole step, half step, whole step, alternating. So it would be, so it's half, whole, half, whole. And that way I still have this A major tonality in there, but I also can use A minor. Only thing I'm not having is this D, but it's okay because we're moving on to something else. Oh wait. So that's the ideas. 2 layers of meters and this octatonic scale. And let's see where this takes us. I'm a big fan of your videos. It's going to be great to see your work live. Well, I hope it will be. Thanks for joining. And since this will be rather intense, let's start out. Oh, this is the reason why this template is a mess. I talked about this in the previous live stream as well, is because I always like I've been working in this one already, and this is like an iterated version of where I wrote the music for this chapter in. And I always copy tracks and move them around so I can try different effects on them. So this one has a very big reverb on it. I have an organ with the tremolo. Things like that. To try out, but then at some point it's a mess, which is fine. So our bass rhythm is a 5/4. And I was thinking of doing something along the lines of which will be a variation of the main theme. So let's try that out. And then and I can maybe try and see if I can also use the other way around. So this all makes a lot of sense if you've seen the game design into music video, where I'm talking about having these melodic movements that on one hand they go up and down, but I can mirror them with the inverted thing. So I could do something like that. Let's start with that and then we'll take it from there. Let me see, this sounds a bit soft, but oh wait, this I don't need this higher octave, I think. I'm gonna fix it in one and then we'll move on. I need velocity. Wait, you can't see this. Sorry. There was a lot of automatism. Is that a word in English on my end? Is it better for this type of music to not have too many chord changes? Kind of depends, I think. Like for a lot of this action stuff, it can work really well to have just sort of like a 5th ostinato. But then again, when you need some sort of B section, it can also be a lot of fun to try out what if the chords move elsewhere. What if you have a section where, so here it's just A, where it could be 3 beats of one chord, 2 beats of another. It kind of depends. I think as a start, I'm just gonna stick to like melodic stuff, not worry about the chords too much. And then we'll take it from there. Let me see. Can be more intense. A bit of a crescendo. So here, this is a little bit cheating, because I just mentioned I want to do I want to use this scale, but this makes it symmetrical. So maybe I'll alternate it. And one thing I just realized, I'm going up with the major third, and down by a minor, but in the... If it would be symmetrical, it would be this. And I like that. So instead of maybe having the octatonic scale, I can use some sort of symmetrical scale where the tritone will be the same, because that's in every octatonic. So it's half, whole, half, whole. And then maybe from there we switch to whole, half, whole, half. So the scale will be... That's interesting, I think. So we apply the symmetry into the scale as well, and not just the rhythm and... And here I want to do... And for the sake of variation, I'm gonna make this a little bit different, but then this little ending will still be symmetrical. So here you have up major third, down minor. So it's down major third, up minor. Yeah, and this little note here is just so we get a little bit of variation. All right, let's take that as a starting point. And then remember, underneath we have something else doing. Doing alternating rhythm. And now that we actually have something to try it with, let's see which one of these works better, because this is now two different ideas. Before I do that though, this needs a bit more, oomph. What is your favorite instrument? That is a very good question. Flute comes to mind, bassoon comes to mind, cello comes to mind. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those three. Can I say three, or do I have to pick one? Let me see. Wait, this is Metropolis Arc, by the way. And yeah, it has a little bit of that punch that I like. Wait, I'm gonna cut this out a little bit. Just a little bit of cueing there. And here, we do need a lower octave. You can hear the double bass being very high there. Sounds a bit weird to me. So I'm, oh wait, but then do fix it. Let's see what, like these I want to blend in a little bit softer. Oh wait, I need to set their volumes. I think I want to have the 1 beat displacement. Let me try the other one. Like this percussion thing is super basic right now. Yeah, let's do 1 bar before move this out of the way. And you, I want, there we go. So this one, to remind you, is 1/4/4 bar in the second bar, and then it goes back to 5/4 to make this rhythmic displacement between different things that are happening. And I'm just trying out to see if it works. So there it has been displaced. What if instead of the second bar, we make the third bar a 4/4? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you go there. And you go there. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. This I like because now you don't feel that it is shifting, because it could potentially still be like it could still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. But it's just a variation. But then you come in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And to make variation, I could shift the place where the 4/4 bar is. So, still makes sense? So this is a 5/4. Then there comes the 4/4. Yeah, and then you are there. You are there. You are. Let's see. Then if this is a 4, then you all move forward. Yeah, like that. And you go there. There we go. Oh wait, this is a 5/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we have it. Okay, let's try this first, and then we see what happens. So, mix-wise, this needs a lot of work, but I first want to get the ideas down and see if they actually work. Yeah, this needed an octave. Okay, I think I cannot put this in an octave because... Oh! Sorry about that. Wrong instrument selected. So our skill is... All right, let's think for 1 second. Oh wait, what? I want to use this, yeah, in the transition. We're gonna need that at some point, but I'm not sure when. Blip. You wanna use brass? We're gonna use brass. We're gonna use brass. I made it. Welcome. Thanks for making it. Let's get these flags in place. There is a lot of reverb here. Wait, let me. I hate this. When you load an instrument, it gets added to your mixing snapshots, and you have to manually remove them again. So now we only have the effects. Right, let's just start with that and then we'll take it from there. For now, I'm just going to do this because that's the quickest way to go about it. Okay, I thought I heard some sort of delay. I'm not sure if we'll keep it, but it's there. Oh, wait. Go. I don't like it. Wait, I'm gonna mute you for a little bit so we can focus on this. This needs to have a bit more. Let me check one thing. What are you at? I'm gonna put the expression up a little bit. And maybe just make this a bit louder in general. Do you sometimes work with real players or only sample libraries? Mostly sample libraries, but for this score I will record solo, alto and bass flute and viola as well. And I coincidentally have a recording session next week for another project. So yeah, sometimes I work with live players, but that's something I want to work on. For me, it's easier in a way to do it with samples, but I would love to work with musicians more. I just need to get used to the workflow because I'm so used to doing everything in here out of the box and working with samples. I am going to try something. Get a bit more of the spot mics. Get it a little bit more aggressive. Doing the same thing here. That's already auto save. It's a big project, so that takes a while. There we go. Yeah, so now you should have. All right, this makes it lose a bit of definition, so I'm gonna turn you. This is just to add a little bit of wait. I'll just keep it now and we'll worry about it later. So one thing, I just mentioned this. We talked about chord changes. One thing I really like to do at times is just have, and especially in music like this, get these going, is, where are you? You should once do some kind of viewer's track review, or you stream yourself, criticize the tracks you send, and give your take on them. That's not a bad idea. I'll consider that. But this doesn't fit my scale. However, do I mind that? Otherwise it would be... I'm gonna cheat a little bit. So this will be just regular, and maybe this one can go with the percussion rhythm. I find it hardest to make brass sound realistic. What brass library do you use, and what section of orchestra do you find the hardest to sound realistic when using samples? I use Cinematic Studio Brass for 90% of my brass. And then when I need something that hits a little harder, I have Metropolis Arc 1 and 2. They have these very big triple forte bass trombones and tubas, and they really help add a lot of grit to your low brass. And what I find the hardest, solo instruments, to make those really stand out, especially solo strings, but also things like oboe are really hard. Flute is getting better, clarinet. Yeah, I think solo strings and oboe I find the hardest. And I find it very hard to mix percussion for some reason. So for here, I'm just gonna go through this real quick. Then here I want to go with the 4/4. Wait, did I? I did. Something is going wrong here. Yes, I was not. So we have the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1. Dun, 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 dun. That one. What percent of your final work gets used with virtual instruments? Does it depend on the budget? Yes, it does. So for this one, it will be quite a lot. Because what is happening here? Sorry. Okay. So this will be just 2 soloists. For this other project that I have 2 recordings of this week, that's also just a couple of soloists, because we don't have budget for full orchestra. But I also sometimes work on projects as an arranger, where we had a recording in Budapest for a project last year, which was a lot of fun. And there the entire orchestra gets recorded. But I am not in a place yet where I have a lot of budget for things like that. So I have to make do with soloists, and I want to do them more, like I mentioned earlier. Which ensemble strings are you using? Cinematic Studio strings, and these mid strings are from Metropolis Arc 2, I believe. And I really like those. Oh. Oh wait, I need to put them an octave lower. Maybe here. then it's going with the low stuff. Let's just try that. And then here we have, it will go with the percussion. So this is an experiment. Bear with me. Where I want to see if this works. Please, thank you. Don't. So here we have this percussion going. Oh, it's muted. Go back to these. So here the basses and cello would be continuing in 5/4, but then things in the mid, they go with the percussion in the alternate bars. Austin with a super chat. Wow, this is a first. So thank you. 1,000 yen. I have no idea how much that is. That sounds like a lot. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. So yeah, I got monetized recently, which has been crazy, only because of the orchestration tips video. So thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate the support. And I'm a little bit flabbergasted. And I forgot what I was doing. Thank you. And then here we need something else. Ooh. Wait. Talking of symmetry, here we are going. The bass is going. And now I'm doing. I could also do the other way around. So it's symmetrical to the basses. Do, 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 do. One goes up, down, the other goes down, up. Do you like Spitfire audio? And did you see they merge with Splice? I did see they merge with Splice, and I don't have a lot of Spitfire. What do I have? I only have some drumline things. My opinion of Spitfire has very often been they make great stuff, but it's also a lot of marketing, and I don't really need it at the moment because I have other libraries that I built my template around, mainly Cinematic Studio Strings. And I did see they merge with Splice, and I'm very curious what that will amount to in the end. Whether they are going rent to own, yes or no. There's one Spitfire library I might want to add still, and that's Hans Zimmer Percussion. But I have a friend who uses their like the professional orchestra religiously, and he makes it sound great. So I've heard good things. Personally, I prefer others, but that's not because I don't like them or anything. And Austin, that might be your last name, but I'm gonna call you that anyway. I'm also a game sound creator. Please keep uploading your videos. I will. This month is really, really busy though, and I'm very tired. So I might stick to some live streams in the near future, because videos and editing and everything takes a lot of time that I currently don't really have. But I will do so once my schedule opens up a little bit, and maybe like half Devlog videos, I can usually get those in between as well, because they take a little bit less long to make. That's a word. I reckon that's a bad move from Spitfire. Many people have issues with Splice using their samples. Do you have any problems with computer games music and using Splice? I don't really use Splice, so I don't have like the right experience to really comment on that. But for Splice, when you have like a Splice, when you upload samples to Splice, there's an agreement in place, right? Where you can use it for commercial projects, but then you can't credit the artist. I remember Tori Letzler at some point was like, if you use my Splice samples, you cannot say you have worked with me, which I understand. Understand that she got frustrated about that. But to finish my thought, here we can then go up and down, because here the basses are going down and up. What do you do for CS different legato speeds? I personally have my track at fast legato speed, but for the other speed I use Cubic's logical editor to shift the notes based on velocity. Any other ideas? So when, yeah, my track delays are set to the fast legato. So when I want to have fast legato, I just crank the velocity up and call it a day. Still, I very often also still put it a little bit early, just to be sure. But when I do other speeds, I usually just go in and change them manually. Which may seem crazy, but that way I listen to where the transition is, and I think there could be little parts where I may be off a little bit, but it adds a human element to it, because I'm the one listening and seeing where they should be, adding some mistakes here and there. So it's a bit more labor intensive, but I do also think it creates a realistic result in the end. But yeah, it takes some time. Oh, I really liked this shift here in the rhythm. And then here, let's see. Wait, I'm just gonna repeat this, just so we know what it will sound like. So, very... Excuse me, I don't always work like this. Where it's just, boom, we're gonna repeat this. So here it should have been displaced by 2 beats. No, wait, I did this wrong. I need to put them separately. There we go. This one goes there. And this one goes... wait, I'm getting confused by my own... Yeah, there we go. Who would have thought I needed an additional signature track in Cubase? Wait, I'm going to remove this last note. There we go. There we go. And... All right. It's getting... I'm getting the idea across, but maybe I should watch out that I'm not having it displaced all the time, or maybe I should introduce it later. I'm thinking now, because it gets a little bit unhinged towards the end. You could 60% quantize it, then shift the notes with the logical editor. That would be way easier, no? Probably. It would probably be easier. Probably. But I actually like how I'm doing it right now. I might try it out, but for the moment, I'm so used to the workflow, and I have a lot of stuff on my plate, so I need to try it out a bit later. I saw Jod Nevo on Sonic State the other day, and he had a problem. A splice vocal he used for a tutorial video because someone had copyrighted the sample in another piece and it caused a copyright strike. Oh yeah. I haven't had that experience, but I can imagine that would be a pain in the ass. Yeah, so then it picked out a sample in a piece. Yeah, that's annoying. I'm not sure how Spitfire is gonna work that out, but we'll have to wait and see. So maybe, hear me out. Wait, I need to... So this is already... Okay, this one I'm gonna repeat once more. Wait. Just trying some things out. And then you guys... yeah, from here, I'm gonna move this whole section 4 bars, 2, 3, and 4. Then this, same thing, 2, 3, 4. And then let's see what happens if the first time we have everything going hand in hand nicely together. So you go there. So now the percussion should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. So the first time it's everyone is together on the 5/4 bar. And then from here we start shifting. So only thing I need to do now is tweak this, and the only thing I need to do to tweak that is this. So what happens now? 4 bars of 5/4, then meters start shifting. Mid layer is doing together with percussion. Basses are doing still 5/4, 5/4, 5/4, and shifting by these meters here in the second signature track. Can I ask you about something? Of course. Peter, hey Peter, welcome. Sounds super fun, thanks. What effect do you add for chord stack supersaw to make it fit well with the other elements stereo imager? EDM, electro house, future bass. I don't really make electro house future bass, so I have no idea how to answer your question. So let's see. So from here we go, everything's 5/4. Maybe. I think it works. However, I feel that the low stuff needs to be supported by the percussion a bit more. So maybe I need to build it up from low, mid, high. Because this percussion thing, which is very much a placeholder, by the way, just to have that clear, is very low. And it's very much supporting of this. So maybe I need to, before I move on, try to get an additional percussion layer in, which supports the 5/4 all the way through. Let's try it out. Wait. I'm just gonna, like I said, placeholder. This is all. This is sorry about that. This is all very much a bit too digital. Oh, I don't remember editing this, but okay, wait, I'm just going to put it in something here. Yes, there we go, damage. I want some room. Thank you. So this is very low. It's more in this range. Maybe with some rods. Did I miss? At what level should a composer start to monetize their work? And if so, what is the best, quickest way to find work when starting out? That's the lifelong question. When should you start monetizing your work? The thing is, okay, I can only speak from my experience. I started earning my first money as a composer when I started studying because people were willing to give a young composer a chance and try it out, which meant that not all of my music was great at the time. And back then I also wrote mostly for the stage in a way, if that makes sense, like live music. My bachelor is in classical composition, so I was still very much involved in that world still. And for arranging things, which was not much, like peanuts. And only later on did I start to earn more. And also after graduating, I've had years where I didn't earn a lot and had side jobs and everything. So at what level should you start to monetize your work? It's not necessarily about at what level should you start monetizing your work. It's more about, how do I explain this? When you share your work online or visibly, or you share it with others, at some point there will be people who hear it, who like it, and will be like, can you write music for this? That's the one hand. On the other hand, it's not so easy that people come to you all the time asking you to write music for them. So in that sense, I would say, oh, at what level? Sorry, I find it's a very hard question. I hope that's somewhat of an answer. I will keep thinking about it. If there's anyone in the chat who has an idea about that. And the second part is, what is the best, quickest way to find work when starting out? I try to go to the places where the people who make the stuff that I want to write for meet, which is, for me, animation and game conferences, meetups, festivals, discords, anything like that, and be friends with them, because you never know what can come from those friendships. And with friendship, I mean everyone, 3D modelers, programmers. You never know who can introduce you to someone who knows someone who might need music. Okay, wait. This sounds very... Okay, wait. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to cheat this. Wait, this... sounds very flat. Okay, I'm gonna... This is just for an experiment. This is too loud. This... So this is going with the violas. This is just to try it out, so I'm... Yo, what happened? All right. So... I'm just checking the rhythms. This sounds very weird. Okay, so now this will be going with the violas, which means that until here we copy it and then we skip one beat. And then we do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. And here you go there, I believe. Is that it? Oh, good morning. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then this needs to shift back. So, percussion, placeholder. Just figuring out if this displacing meter rhythm thing will work. So from here. I like that better. What do you think? In your opinion, which job do you choose to work along with music production? I did as a day job. Yeah, I think Peter's also going in that. If you can choose something with music, it's always nice, but can be hard to find. Lots of people doing lots of jobs and doing music on the side. Exactly. I did my main 2 side jobs were, the first one was soul-wrenchingly terrible, which was being a delivery driver for Albert Heijn, which is a very big grocery store in the Netherlands. So I had to be at a very obscure like warehouse in far away in an industrial complex in the harbors of Amsterdam, which was like at least an hour travel from my house. And then I had no time to deliver groceries in the city center of Amsterdam. I'm not sure if you've ever been in the city center of Amsterdam, but look up some pictures and then imagine driving there with a big ass truck, being in people's way while you deliver groceries to people who live above an Albert Heijn. So I did that for half a year, and I was done. I was just done with it. And then my second job, which I actually liked a lot, and it also helped me. Like, it was not a music job, but it helped. It was, I worked at a tourist store at Amsterdam Central Station, where I helped people with finding their way, their hotels. Also sold maps and canal cruises and museum tickets and all that good stuff, which was great for my soft skills. I am very much an introvert, and working there helped me to be a bit more social with people, because there you're talking with people all day, which was something that I can then use. It's not like for music, it's useless, but maybe not for live streaming, but that's a different thing. But for going to conferences and just being sociable and being able to talk to people, in that sense, it was great. So in that way, I thought of, maybe I'm not doing music, but I'm still learning something that I can still use while building my career. So there are also people who do like web development, and then you can build your own website, or maybe for other composers as well. I know a guy who worked at the service center of a big music store, so he knew everything about. I think he was like for the keys or for software, he was a support. So now he's a Cubase expert, because he had to help people use Cubase. So there's multiple ways to go about that for side jobs. Yes, I like it. I don't like the percussion sounds per se, but I like the the rhythms getting moved all over the place. When Philip Glass was an artist, he still worked as a plumber. He used to get recognized on the job. Yeah, well, that's the that's what happens. A lot of people have side jobs. It's a hard profession to get into. So, okay, wait, let me just see. Yeah, I am a fan. So we're gonna develop this throughout this loop. And I'm not sure how long it will be. And at some point it will be together. So if we were to extrapolate this to a cycle where at some point it will... So now every 4 bars, it gets displaced by 1 beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it should be 20 bars. I'm not a mathematician. So there... so wait. I need... I need... Sorry, I need to make sense of this. So I'm gonna put some cycle markers in there. This is 1, then this is 2, and 3. Let's... So I don't lose my mind. Oh wait, sorry. Cycle 3. Then it should be 4. Wait, do we still have... Yes, then we... And 5. And there we should be on bar 1 again. Wait, huh? Wait, I changed all the names to cycle 5. Oops. So this is a 5-4. 5/4, 4/4, 5/4, 5/4, 5/4, 4/4, 5/4. So if we were to keep this going, this is the loop. Or at least the start of it. And as you can see, the video, it's a bit longer than the whole sequence, so that should be fine. We live in an online world nowadays, especially past COVID. Do you think it matters if, for example, I live in Turkey and I want to get in the industry? No, it does not matter. I do hardly... This game project is for a team in Lithuania. I am also working for someone in Dubai at the moment. I have worked for Norwegians. Dancing Pandas was for a Finnish studio. I work with one guy in the Netherlands, but he's French. I actually have only starting to get more into the Dutch game industry more recently. So I feel it doesn't matter. I have most of my meetings on Discord. So here, so in the end, in this whole part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're removing 5 beats in total. So while this mid part has 4 bars each, in the end, the lower part will be short 1 bar, because we're removing 5 beats from the upper one. So I'm also obviously not going to repeat everything here. And I could also still choose to remove an additional beat somewhere, or maybe instead of a 4/4 have a 3/4. But this is the idea. So we have 5/4 going in low stuff. Then in the mid layer we have this alternating 5/4, 5/4, 4/4, 5/4. And then maybe in the higher layers we do something else. If I would do 2 beats per cycle, then it would also end up in the same place, but then with 2 bars extra. Also something to consider. Peter, not as much as it used to. I think social media is much more powerful than they used to realize. Building a social media presence with a good following will feed your family no matter where you live. Yeah, exactly. That's also what I noticed. For example, with the like the orchestration tips video that I posted, that's got yeah, I got 2 job offers. One from the US and one from Germany. So I live in the Netherlands. It doesn't matter. And I got requests for a lot of students, also from all over. So yeah, and that's one video that accidentally happened to do very well. But if you consistently put your music online, share stuff, be willing to share what you're learning as well, like not just, hey, here's what I did, but I try to approach it in a way of, oh, this is what I learned from it. Then yeah, like Peter said, doesn't matter where you live then, if you can somehow get your music into online. Okay. Let's get back to this. So. And this transition, wait, what is... Let me check. Yeah, so sorry, I was a little bit lost in thought there. I want to give that low stuff a bit more emphasis. So I want to have... I'm doing it in A, which for bass clarinet and bassoon, you just cannot get this low. But I'm also going down, so it doesn't matter. I just want to see if I can give this low stuff a bit more weight. This sounds weird. Maybe different articulation. That sounded even weirder. Just... Yeah, just some more weight there on the low end. Why is this slow? And I just thought of an idea, but it is saving. It is getting very hot here, by the way. It suddenly turns like 25 degrees this week. And my studio is like, the sun is right there. So at a certain point of the day, it gets very hot in here. Which is why I've already finished my water. All right, now that it has loaded. I want something more than just the staccato thing. And this is also one of those things that I can displace later. And I also wanted, I talked about this right at the start. Where are you? There you are. Do I keep the... I don't think so. Oh wait, I didn't put the right articulation. And maybe I'm using a lot of these. These, not these. Wait. What am I doing here? Ah, yeah, that was it. This is what I meant. Multiphonics. I'm just trying out some textures I can use to make this a bit more interesting than just the excuse me, just the rhythmic stuff. What? Do you hear this? It's very, very soft. Maybe that's why. There we go. But it's... that I like. To see where to use it though, maybe later. Sorry, I'm just thinking where to go here. Maybe I just see. So in order for this to work, I want to introduce it. This is too loud, and now I don't hear the horns underneath. Yeah. Is this gonna mess anything up? No. Well, yes, but no. Why are you there? Go there. Oh. There it is. -6. Starting point, and then here. Maybe I need another layer of things on top, but let's first... So here, maybe I can move to something else in the low stuff. Hey, how did you add these kinds of automations? Which one you mean? Yeah, okay, that's all nice and dandy. But where do we go from there? I was thinking maybe some going from lower. What was... something along those lines, but I'm just thinking we have it once, then once with the displacement, once with another displacement. And do I already move on from there? Sorry, I'm just in my head trying to figure out how I can approach this. Yeah, here I can think I can already move here. Oh yeah, we were already cheating with the skill anyway, so... let me try something like that. And first get the notes. Wait, what's happening? Why is this... Oh yeah, that might make it too much. I was now playing something that was in the yellow track. Never mind, I'll watch about it later. It's oh yeah, it's here. It's just the volume automation. If you add your arrow here, then here you can just pick anything you want and automate it. So here I was doing... Oh, let's go back. This is it's a 5/4 bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 7/8 bar. If we're gonna add 7/8 bars into the equation, then it's gonna get really messy. So we're gonna try it. Okay, wait. I'm gonna solo these, because otherwise I will lose my mind. So here it's... I just want to try this out. Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe it will be some sort of B section. Because this, like for the demo, we have a very short boss sequence. Of just... I can show it again, maybe. Very much work in progress. So here it's... There we go. Little cutscene. This thingy comes in and explodes the rock. And you have this boulder following you. Here it's very short still, so it's like little platforming, and there is the ending, this little light at the end of the tunnel. So this idea that I have now would also potentially be used in like a B section later on, beyond the demo. But I'm thinking of it now, so I want to do it now. Which... So this is... Wait, let me just... before I get all my cycles out of order. This is a 5/4 bar. And then a 7/8 bar. Is Thank you. You're welcome. I watched a Zach Hardy video about how to start finding work, and he recommended doing free work at the start, for example, reaching out to animation students who are working on their projects. That's also something I did. I did an animated score for someone as a graduation project a year and a half ago now, and our deal was if she makes any money on the film, we split it according to her percentage, and she owed me at least one album cover, which was Invictus. And now I'm actually doing a funded short film with her. So that's one way of getting work as well, which also has worked for me. And it also gets you a lot of experience. Is it better to concentrate on quality music and production with, say, virtual instruments over creating your own unique sound through sound design, FX, recording your own instruments, found audio? I think, yeah. Can I say both? It's I know I have a friend who is great at the latter. So he does a lot of his own recordings and has a lot of instruments, and he goes nuts with those, and he's very good at that, and that's also very much something people want. On the other hand, there's me, and I try to somehow find my own unique sound with virtual instruments in a way. So I do a lot in the box, as I mentioned earlier. I want to do more with live musicians, but often budgets don't allow it. Haven't allowed it, and I don't have the best place to record. So for me, it's often easier to do it out of the box. But I don't think it's one or the other. I still think you can try and create your own voice even when you're using a lot of virtual instruments. So I would say, David, whichever you prefer. Like I like to write orchestral music, and I think that's what I'm good at. I'm not very good at mangling sounds and creating like a very like getting a ruler, bowing it, and then making some sort of weird death metal track out of that. That's just not something I'm good at. So I try to still somehow find my own voice and still do some of it in a different way. So usually when I do it, I try to have like instruments special. You do it with instrumental effects, for example, or the way that I orchestrate, or the way that I put effects on the orchestral instruments to just give them a little unique twist. That's how I try to go about it. I'm again just repeating it to try it out. So this would be a 5/4 and a 7/8. And what if we're going back to the percussion? Where is... Oh, it's lower. What if... I'm going all over the place. I'm sorry. It's just... Sometimes I have ideas, and then I want to act on those. Boom. Let me see. Wait. Oh, this needs... Wait, this needs to be 7/8 then. This doesn't work for some reason. And then this goes. This goes... I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. And... This could also be like a little middle section. Okay, I have an idea. So this is oh. So it's It's the other way around. But I want to try something with that. Oh. Because we're still playing with the whole symmetry, asymmetry, rhythmic displacement and everything. The what? B flat, B flat, A, D sharp. However, hear me out. So here it's 7/8, then 5/4. Huh? I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm just trying things out. And I want this to stay on this. Wait, I need to... Now you can hear it better. Okay, wait. Let's just try this out. Do you have any source of education that you recommend, book or course, and how do you go about learning a new type, style, composer's music? To the last one, it's listening to their music or to the style of music and analyze it, or even better, recreate it. I learned so much from the Race to Durango remake that I did a couple of years ago that I still use. So that's one thing. An education, a book or a course, of course, YouTube. And a book I have. This is not necessarily a book that you have to read cover to cover. Like, oh, you may not see this because it's very small, but it's a study of orchestration. It's more of like a reference work, which is great for learning orchestration. But analyzing and sources and books, IMSLP. It has a lot of scores that you can download of public domain music, which until now there's like early 20th century is all on there and before, and you just listen along to the music with the score. I agree. I think the single thing with the biggest impact to my orchestration was transcribing the first 2 minutes of Harry's Wondrous World. Yeah, that must have been that must have also been a great resource when you did the Hogwarts Legacy. So let's see. Wait, I want to have these. Oh, my wife is bringing me a new glass of water. She's the best. Wait. Okay, I like this, but it's not very clear yet. So what we're gonna do is put it an octave up in violin shorts. I did it a year after we launched for a class I took. Oh, nice. Let me think. But yeah, like recreating something that you like or that you want to sound like, or just see what is happening there. In terms of orchestration, it helps a lot because you really get into the nitty-gritty of, oh, there is a clarinet thingy here that I'm not hearing, but now that's in there, I can't go without it. And also getting your programming chops programming chops up. Okay, so I like the idea, but I don't like this empty part here. And this is... it needs a bit more oomph. Maybe. I'm just thinking, maybe I need... And then... that it's in the middle. So this... we put an octave up. Oh, autosave. This is the time to get my water. 1 sec. All right. Do you think it is better to specialize in one few types of music or be a grab of all? That's... you have a lot of good questions, dear sir. Wait, did I... paste? No, wait. Huh? What is happening? Okay, I thought I'd copied. I'm not sure. Because on the one hand, it's good to be known for one thing that you do really, really well. And get asked for that. It can also become very boring that you do the same thing all the time. But on the other hand, jack of all trades, master of none. Those are kind of the extremes in that range. So I'm not really sure. This doesn't have a lot of definition yet. Wait. Come on. I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna stream because I notice my I had an exhausting week and I notice my energy is fading a little bit. I can share some thoughts on that. Please do, Peter. I know why this is so unclear, because it is very, very low. Let's see what happens if I do. Okay, I like the idea. Oh, wait. Again, just trying some things out here. It's just this jump here is weird. This one. Maybe it helps. Oh, wait, this... Maybe this is better. It is. But this... this... I'm sorry, but it sounds annoying. like with a lot of the questions that you ask is I find it sometimes hard to answer them because I'm doing one thing, but it may not be the best way to do things. And so I always try to come from a place like this has worked for me. I now see, by the way, that this is acting weird. Sorry about that. Where it's like one thing has worked for me, but it may not work for anyone else. Like there are a lot of people who do a lot of different things and they become very successful with it, and there are also a lot of people who do one specific thing and become very successful with that. So I find it hard to answer those questions. So I always ask to approach them from the point of this is what worked for me. So if I come short on an answer for any of those questions, I'm really sorry. But I'm glad Peter has shared a few thoughts of his. Sometimes a career goes like this. At first, you take on any and all projects you can. Eventually, a project you work on gets some success, gets some recognition, or you start getting repeat clients. These kinds of events lead to more work of the same type. The client probably wants more of the same. You become known for writing a particular style of music. So the shift from jack of all trades or grab all to specific or limited focus often happens very naturally. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Very well said. Like I take on a lot of different projects still. Maybe at the moment a bit too much because you're still at this point like you never know where the next gig is going to come from. And I'm not at the point yet where it's like people want me for one specific thing. So until then, I do know that when someone asks me like, can you make an EDM score? I will probably call a friend. And I have done something like that in the past. So which I'm also happy to do, by the way, because I also like my friends to succeed. So it's on the one hand, I still try to do as much as I can, but on the other hand, I'm good at orchestral stuff, mostly mixed with whatever is necessary. And if a project is very far from that, then it might not be the best fit for me, and that's fine. This is better, but I just don't like this high, how this high one sounds. Maybe I'll just put this somewhere here as well. Where are you? This one doesn't go. It doesn't go to the high C sharp. Do you? You do. There we go. So here, I have been talking about this idea of, there we go, rhythmic and meter displacement. So what we're doing here is it changes every cycle by one beat. And what I'm doing here, this will probably be some sort of a B section or transition or something like that, is the low stuff does 5, 4, 7, 8, and the high stuff does it the other way around. So 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, there. 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there we go. And then 5, 4. So we have the same idea, but just in a different way. There we go. And I like that. So let's go back. Or actually, I have laid the groundwork for this cue, and I am getting really tired. Peter, that's a great way to put it. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Peter, for your thoughts and for joining us and for being active. I'm going to call it quits here. Like I said, I've had an exhausting week. For some reason, I sleep very little, and it's having a detrimental effect on my energy, which sucks, but I'm trying to make the best of it. But for now, I think this is a great foundation to build the rest of this queue on, which I will do next week. And maybe in a live stream next week. I'll have to see. we are releasing a demo for the next fest, which is in June, and this cue will feature in there, and I will probably cover it in some devlog or another. Thanks everyone for who was here in the stream. Thanks Evil Dreevil. I only now realized your name, and it sounds quite funny actually. Please to board, they are really helpful. Thank you. I will. Not sure when, but I'll always announce it. If I do a surprise stream, then you can always watch it back later. Sounds excellent. Thank you, Peter. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. Please have a good rest. I will definitely. Let's go over this one more time to what the foundation of this cue is. Yeah, let's just hit this. Okay, just that one. So this is the foundation, groundwork, what I will be working on next week. Airidas, if you're here, that's the main developer for Halve. I hope you like it. And let's listen to it one more time, the two different sections, and then I'm signing off. I still like the idea of the rhythm being displaced by a beat. I just have to see how I will tweak it in the end, where it will work the best way. And then this little B section where instead of being a beat removed every 4 bars, there's 1 5/4 plus 7/8 and 1 7/8 plus 5/4. That's the idea. Thanks all for joining. I am signing off. Have a great weekend. And I will be playing football this weekend and doing some running and making parts for recording next week. I hope you have a great one. Thanks so much again for being here. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.